Alright, I'm back. It's me again. I totally forgot I do have these I have one pre-made guard from Jans to fit a 5/32 knife, 5/32 stick. Check it out. I just recorded for like a minute and I didn't record anything. I do have Jant's pre-made slotted guard, Jant's pre-made slotted guard, Jant's knife supply, right? And it looks like that. 5/32 slot, and it'll work on this bad boy. But it's gonna be, by the time I get this guard slot cut in the tang, it's gonna be pretty short. So you have to cut the guard slot in the tang, a little square notch to receive the guard. Otherwise, you might get, if you pin it, you might get some back and forth. You shouldn't, but you know, it's like to be better safe than sorry. The other thing is it's not even that much wider than what I already have. Maybe a 32nd of an inch. Well, I can make a longer guard out of this. But the customer doesn't really want a long guard. He's more of a traditional type dude. He likes a shorter guard. So I'm gonna try this, I think. I guess I could also, instead of cutting the guard slot, I could do like Bob Loveless used to do and just pin it at the top and the bottom. So you got two pins so it doesn't move back and forth. Might do that. Pair of vice grips. Vice grips. Oh, let's say it. Vice grips. Vice grips. Vice grips. Yeah, it serves two purposes to clamp this baby with a pair of vice grips. One is you can look down the knife from the front or the back, whichever, and see if there's any light coming in through those cracks where the slot is. Because sometimes, even though this says it's 5/32 stock and this says 5/32 slot, math doesn't always line up. You got to make sure it fits, and sometimes you luck out. Most of the time you don't. Most of the time you're gonna have to either mill out the slot a little bit or get a guard that's slotted for an 1/8 inch and then mill it up to 5/32 or to your dimension on your knife stock. But this one lucked out. I'm going with it. Also, the other thing, I forgot to say, the other thing that it does is if you have a slight gap, you can put your vice grips on there and it can close it up. If it's a nickel silver or brass or, you know, soft metal, it'll close it up. It won't close up a big gap, but it will a slight hairline. And it keeps it solid in there so you can drill it. Learned that from Bob Loveless. Me and Bob go way back. Alright, here's the setup. Vice grips, guard, knife, drill, press, vise. I've got my center line marked and I marked where the two pins are going to go. Pretty simple. Alright then, there she is drilled. Don't eat this. How a lot of videographers, YouTube content creators, which I am neither one of those things, they'll tell you, wear your safety glasses, be safe, wear your mask. I just tell you, don't eat metal shavings, because if you're so dumb that you don't wear your mask or your goggles when you should, and you need a moron like me to tell you to do it, then I definitely need to tell you not to eat the metal shavings. But I don't think any of you are like that, so we're good to go. My eyes always go back over here because that's when I can see my face. I hate this. I hate. Yeah. I think I'm gonna go with a brass pin, 2 brass pins. So I did 2 holes. I get people ask me sometimes, hey, what about the dissimilar metals, the nickel silver and the brass, or whatever the combination is? It's like there's a certain scientific thing that happens with dissimilar metals and water and electricity and heat. I don't know. All I can tell you is I can tell you 2 things. I don't know science. 3 things. Don't care as long as it works. And the 3rd thing is it works. In the 18 years I've been doing this, I've never seen corrosion from 2 dissimilar metals on a knife. Now, I know that's anecdotal. I get it. science rules, blah, 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 blah. You follow your scientific principles, I'll follow practicality. I'll probably lose. But for now, it's been good. And you know, if you get a little bit of corrosion on your guard, wipe it off. Okay, so I drilled these holes. Yeesh. Can't talk. I drilled these holes with a number 30 bit. So that's like one size up on the chart. What chart that is, I don't know, drill bit chart. On the drill bit chart, it's one size up from an 1/8 inch, which is what the size of my pins are. So you can't drill an 1/8 inch hole for 1/8 inch pins because, yeah, it's the same size. So now I'm going to drill a little bit larger hole in the tank. So hopefully, and I'm also going to take a chamfering bit, I guess is what it's called. What is that thing called? It's a bit that recesses the head of screws, you know, like, I'll just show you. One of them. Drill a bigger hole. I'm going to drill a 30. Yeah, 30. No, just drill a 30. I'm going to drill a 29, which is actually bigger, which is weird. So I'm going to drill a size 29 hole, and I'm going to recess, chamfer, whatever this is called, the hole over my pin, which will be kind of pointed. You know what I mean? I put it on the belt center and I kind of point it like this thing is pointed. Hopefully that'll be enough for it to find that hole in the tank and shoot on through. Because you'd think that everything's going to line up just great like it did and you're good to go with, but it doesn't. Countersink. It's called a countersink bit. Countersunk these holes, drill them out a little bit bigger. You can't probably see it, but these are countersunk. Sunk counter. Alright, see that? Kind of rounded the end of the pin. That way you can hopefully get a better, maybe it'll guide it in there a little bit better. At least that's what I do. What else was I going to say? Don't remember. I got a little rant. Got a rant. Copyright thing on YouTube. I get it. I understand why they do it, because they don't want to get sued. That's what everything's about, by the way. It's all about money. You know, like a lot of people think that, well, they don't give us freedom of speech on their apps or whatever, they, you know, Instagram, all the social media stuff. They don't give us freedom of speech. You can't talk about guns, can't talk about knives. And that's true. For a large part, you can't. Unless you're a big enough account to where you make the money, then it's okay. Have I talked about this before? Probably have. That's what the whole copyright thing is. It's because their lawyers are telling them, hey, you're going to get sued if you use this copywritten music or whatever. But if I was a band and I had music, of course you have music if you're a band. If I was in a band, or if I just did solo music, let's just do that. If I just did solo music, I would want as many people to hear it as I could possibly get. Now I understand they're afraid of pirating. They're afraid people are going to just download the music off of YouTube and then not buy their music on there. Here's the deal. If I don't hear it, I can't buy it. So where am I going to hear it at? And especially in today's world, not many people listen to the radio anymore. I would give it to people to play. And if they download it, and you know, and they're shitty about it and they steal it, they're gonna do that anyway. You know, if they hear it on the radio, those type of people are gonna go find it somewhere else anyway. There's gonna be a good number of people who are like, hey, I like this music, I want to support this person, I'll go buy it. But they can't buy it if they don't know that it exists. If you guys want to use any of my logos or knives or whatever, I mean, I'm thankful for the promotion. I would never, even if it's negative. I've had some negative press. I got some people who hate me. Hey, man. Whenever they run their mouth about how I'm, I won't say the words they use, how I'm not a nice guy and how I make a crappy knife and my knives are overpriced, it's just that much more attention that I get, and hopefully that will bring me some business. If it runs some business off, oh well. People believe everything that they see with no evidence, then I don't want to work with them anyway. I'm on a tangent. So yeah, I'm just saying I don't get the stinginess. I think if you get it out there, it's worth a little bit of, people being scumbags and stealing your stuff. Because they're going to steal your stuff anyway. Okay, what I just did there, almost walked into the camera, is I just chamfered the insides of that slot. Just again, so it makes it a little bit easier for that tang to go in. I'm gonna try it. I'm trying to think if there's any pitfalls in shaping it now. I don't think so, but let me think a little bit more on it. Alright then, I'm committed now. Okay, so now the next step is to finish out the sides. Okay, I've stepped up to 400 grit on the sides all the way around. It's probably a waste of time because I'm gonna end up hand sanding this knife anyway, so I'll wait to contour it once I have the handle all on, because it's gonna be hard to hang onto that thing without frying my fingers off. This one gets a pommel plate. It's not a standard on this model. Usually it looks like this, but this one, the customer wanted a pommel plate. See, this is why sometimes people get mad at me, because I completely didn't check my notes, my order card. Before I started, I just dove in with both feet, and I was just gonna do a standard Scorpius. But yeah, it gets a pommel plate, so I'm glad I checked. It's not gone too far. I'm just gonna straighten this up and get it ready for a pommel plate. Oopsie, it's par for the course. I mean, it's par for the course. It's just okay. So like a standard pommel plate is this jazz right here, 5/32 thick, nickel silver, or sometimes it's 3/16 aluminum. Anyway, a little bit thinner, or this thickness, right? For the Scorpius, it's going to be 1/2 inch aluminum. And the reason is because they don't have a guard, and they kind of have a snake shape. So I always put a lanyard hole in it so you can loop your thumb in that lanyard. I can't really show you now, but imagine there's a lanyard there. A piece of string, piece of paracord with a loop in it. You put your thumb in it, loop it around your thumb. That way if you do any kind of a push movement, that acts as a guard. You can hold the knife more securely, I guess you'd say. I don't know what I'm trying. You know what? I don't think that I'm real bad at explaining stuff. I know I'm not real good at it, but I don't think the problem is that I'm real bad at it. I think the problem is that I hate doing it. It is. How come it takes so long to make a dadgum turley knife? Put a new seat on the motorcycle. I get distracted easily.